What's going on, everybody? This is Dan French, and this is the French Workbench Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. And this is a Tuesday. Want to see everybody out there. Thank you guys so much for showing the support. And let's get right into this here. First off, I want to introduce my guests here today. We have a full studio again, and we have Mr. Rick Rains, ladies and gentlemen. He's back. What's going on, Mr. Rick Rains?
Good evening. Good evening. How is everybody doing?
Good, man. What's going on with you?
Nothing much. Just hanging tight here, ready to have some fun, give out some information.
Yeah, man. No worries. So what's going on with you as far as anything new happening in your world? You were sick the other day, right?
Still am.
You're still
am,
sick.
but I'm here. I'm ready to contribute.
Being sick doesn't mean anything to Rick's generation.
No, not to me.
Right? We also have Mr. Brett Jenny. What's going on with you, Brett?
Went to a listing. That's why I'm all dressed up.
Everything's good, huh?
Everything's fine. TBD. We'll find out. They have to do an auction sale and all that first for next week before we clear it out and then go back. So, not much, man. Just selling real estate, keeping the week afloat.
Keeping the week afloat.
What are you doing, Dan? You're concentrating on something, man.
I am, man. I am. So I'm trying to make sure all this is connected here. Then
you know what you can't do is chew bubble gum and walk.
Yeah, right. We also have Rich Salas. What's going on, Rich?
Hey, Dan. How you doing?
Good, buddy. What's happening with you, man?
Not too much. I would like to report that I am like one seam away from being done with all the repairs from the flood, which I know I've mentioned on here
man,
several
that's
times.
right.
So I'm very happy about that.
How long you been at that for?
It's been since October 15th. So it's been one room or the other that's been torn up.
So good times.
Yeah.
Good
so
times,
it's
right?
like we're almost there. So that's my extreme excitement for the week.
Wow.
And I'm thinking of buying myself Journey tickets as a Christmas present for myself.
Don't stop
Very
believing
good,
in
very
that
good.
one.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
I had this thing about like really great old bands that like if you get the chance, go see them before someone dies, and you can't.
Just don't be a lonely girl in a lonely world.
No, I know.
Right. Okay. We also have Esmeralda Lucia. What's going on, Esmeralda? How are you?
Good. How's everybody? Glad to be back.
Yeah, man.
I miss you guys.
Yeah. What have you been up to?
A lot of stuff. A lot of
Saving
holiday.
money.
Yeah,
a lot
saving
of
money.
holiday events.
How was your Thanksgiving?
It was nice. It was really nice. Family. Lots of family. Lots of food. Lots of carbs.
When you say lots of family,
you say lots of carbs?
What number are we talking?
I don't know, like 50 maybe.
Wow.
Is that a lot? That's a lot, right?
No, not to you.
Anything happening in your life, Esmeralda? Do you got anything new to talk about?
Yeah, I almost died last week. No, I'm just kidding.
What ended up
I had an
happening?
allergic reaction to a
what?
shot. So I had a shot for a flu shot.
And you got allergic reaction? to the
Really?
flu
Yeah, I didn't know I
shot?
had
Oh,
one.
that's terrible.
So I had to go back twice, and then I realized I was like, wait, like my face is swelling in my hands. So I had an allergic reaction to a flu shot.
Just
so,
the regular flu shot.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever they gave me, and I've never had any allergic reaction, so I didn't really know what was happening to me. And so yeah, it was quite an episode.
That's terrible.
Don't recommend it. Sorry, everybody, I just don't.
Yeah, you don't recommend it. So let's go right into this whole thing here. We're talking with, let's talk about housing, right? Talk about what's going to happen here in Las Vegas. We always talk about what changes could occur. And we got Omicron, the bond market, jobs, what all this means for everybody out here getting into a house or potentially getting into a house. Also, second homes, investment properties, right? Why is it such a drop in second homes or investment properties this year? And, I think a lot of it is because rates are going up. People think that, there's not a cash flow, second homes. But as far as Omicron, right, that's the new version or variant that's come out for COVID. What do you guys think the impact is going to be with all this happening right now with this new variant? Do you think this is going to have any impact on the housing market here in Las Vegas? What about you, Rick?
I don't think it's going to have any impact. I think people are getting numb to this whole variant
Me too.
thing that's going
Yeah.
on, and they just don't care anymore. They're done with it. They were done with it 9 months ago, even a year ago. They were done with it.
Coronavirus
and
was
they
so
don't-
2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't care. They're going on with their lives, and they don't care. Period.
Oh, look, so you got jobs are starting to come back. We have, there was a big, huge problem with people not going back to work. You're starting to see that jobs are coming back. The unemployment numbers are dropping. So you look at Omicron, that's not really having an impact. I think people's psychological thought too is that how many times have we gone through a different strand or
That's
variant,
what I'm saying. People
right?
are just they're used to it. It doesn't.
Well, yeah, and plus people realize that there's always going to be another strand because that's just what it is.
Yeah. It's another strand, but I think there's I don't know if it's fear. You want to call it fear, right? I mean,
It is fear.
it is because
It is
if
fear,
you're
the unknown.
afraid of something like this, then are you going to still pursue buying things like investments and properties and other things and buying and spending money? I think a lot of people may have an issue with, not, I wouldn't say an issue, but they're just numb to the situation. One of the things I want to talk about is what do you think is going to happen with this market? Are people going to still buy second homes, investment properties, even though rates are going up and the cash flow is not there, the return on investment? A lot of out-of-state buyers are looking to buy homes out of state, coming here from, let's say, California. We talk about it all the time. Is that going to be slowing down going into 2022?
I think that the only way it's going to slow down is that if people don't put the inventory out there, but otherwise it's going to keep going. And I also think that people are looking at what's happening in the country in general, and I believe there's a strong, I don't want to say push, but there's been a move from one party to another, and I think that everybody is anticipating a change here coming up very quickly, and because of that, the fear factor is a lot lower, and because the fear factor is not there, they're willing to invest.
What for any situation? Like, I mean, does 4% sound crazy high?
I mean, I think the first home that I bought in 2003 or 4, my interest rate was like 6.5%.
Right, Dan, you're a mortgage guy. I mean,
6.5%.
was
That didn't
great
deter me.
2 years ago.
I just wanted a house.
Yeah, the first place we got, I believe, was at 8%.
Okay,
And that was for a first.
so it had no impact on you whatsoever as far as rate. It seems like
It is what it is.
Yeah,
Right.
And
exactly.
if you want a house and you want an investment, you got to pay
and
the
you're
freight.
newly married and
And
you want a house.
here's the other thing:
Get
if
a
the
house,
rates
dude.
turn around and go down, you refinance and get the lower rate. And if it goes up, you count your blessings.
Yeah, and so what do you think the impact is going to be for, let's say, when you look at the situation going into 2022? Now, are we going to see less buyers in the market, or you think we're going to see more going into 2022? Is it going to stay consistent? Are people going to get discouraged if rates continue to keep going up? What do you think, Rick?
I don't think people are going to get discouraged. There may be a slight pullback, but overall, it'll just keep going.
Okay, so with this whole interest rate increase, and you think it's going to keep going, I mean, do you think that it's going to keep going beyond 4%, 4.5%? Like, what, from your history of being in a market or different markets, what do you see with this market that maybe has some similarities?
There's too many variables for me to be really to talk about that. The one thing I want to bring up, which always happens in every market, is what I call the boiling frog. So you take a frog, you put them in a pan of water, you turn the heat on, and it starts to boil. The frog never realizes what's going on,
Right.
and eventually boils to death. Okay, doesn't try to get out. Well, it's the same thing with interest rates. As long as interest rates creep up and keep going like that, people get accustomed to them, and they don't realize what sort of market that they're in or what they had been in, and it's just the way it is.
That's what I'm saying. It just doesn't go from 3 to 7 overnight.
Do you think that if we go beyond 4%, that's just too high of a rate for people out there to buy into a home?
No, I think that's ridiculous because
Yeah.
we've had
Yeah,
rates way
not
over
at all.
4% for an extremely
I think-
long time.
and I think that-
only recently did we drop down
I think mine was
slow.
at 6 when I had
Yeah,
properties
see, that's what I'm saying.
in 2000.
Yeah.
What, 4 or?
Yeah,
So-
that's what mine was 6.5 in
I
2004.
had 6, and I had great credit.
So,
That was a great interest
from
rate.
my perspective, you have all these young people here that have already been with higher interest rates. And the point being that I'm going to make is that young people come in, whether they be 18, 19, or 20, they have friends that are slightly older, okay? And they're going to say, hey, the rates aren't that bad. I got my first place at, like if they talk to me, I got my first place at 8%. What are you crying about at 4 or 5?
That's just crazy, right? Because you think that you're
It's,
still,
dude,
it's
they
part of
just
the
want a
payment.
house right now. Do you understand?
And that's superseding anything else.
Yes,
That's
they just want a
superseding-
house right now.
Yeah,
Right.
because there's so little to
Yeah.
there's so little. That's another thing. FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Hey, if there's so little and something comes up that I can afford and buy, I'm going for it.
Right.
Because otherwise, I might miss out.
Yeah.
So what?
for
I
rent.
think that the reason that people invest in homes as opposed to stocks or cryptocurrency or anything else is because they're killing two birds with one stone. It's very
Yeah.
simple. They got a place to live and they're making an
investment.
investment.
Well,
but if
yeah.
you know,
Absolutely
you buy
right about
stocks,
that.
you can't do that. I mean, you're killing two birds with one stone.
So you look across the board, and this is something I wanted to bring up, that if you guys have not cashed out, refinance your house, at least look at the opportunity. Why? Because there could be an option. I feel cash is king. If I built $100,000,
I agree with you, Dan.
If I took $100,000 I have equity in my house, what if you cashed that money out and diversified it? What if you bought another investment property? What if you bought cryptocurrency?
You could
what if you did something
cash
with it
it-
instead of sitting in
Cash
the
it
house?
out and go to Caesars, and you can double your money.
Oh, that's a great idea.
It only takes,
my-
it only takes
Hold
5
on.
minutes. 5 minutes.
Stand by for more financial advice.
Do you know how many times?
There you go.
You know what's so funny is how many
That
times.
could work.
Here's some, buy some
technically.
property at the Salton Sea.
But again, I think I'm not trying to be biased, but I feel that the equity position that people have is an opportunity. If you consider it an opportunity, I would definitely pull it out, especially with low rates. Still, we still have low rates. Why would you not look at that?
I think that it depends on who you are and where you're at. So, as an example, if I was one of these younger people around the table, I would definitely consider that. But
Rick, how old are you? You're young.
yeah, right. But no, really, I spent a long time to get all
You're
of
young,
my
Rick.
to get all of my real
Young
estate
at heart, Rick.
all of my real estate paid off.
Yeah.
Okay. There's no reason for me at this point in time to turn around and risk at all when from a retirement standpoint, no, I'm going to sit tight.
Yeah.
But if I'm in the spot of building, heck yeah, you want to leverage OPM, man, other people's money.
Yeah, I just always say refinance because I want to make some more money.
Well, of course,
Oh,
this is a
okay.
capitalist country. That's
There you go.
Let's refi.
There's the end game. There we go. It all
Let's
comes
refi.
full circle now, Dan French.
No, you're not.
Greedy ass
Dad's like,
lenders.
get in debt and call me.
Call them now.
It's all just a game you're playing on, huh, Dan?
They're on to me.
On to you, bro.
No, but honestly, it's a case by case, and I think that I'm reading the data, I'm reading the numbers, and that's what people are doing. Regardless of what I say, people are going to do what's their best interest. I'm seeing that they're doing it based upon the numbers and
Yeah.
seeing that the equity's there. So we're going to continue to see people refinance. So what would push you? Do you have equity in your house, Rick?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you ever
lot,
consider? I
probably.
don't know. Everybody's in a different stage in life, but would you ever consider cashing out your house?
Oh boy, it'd have to be for a really, really good reason.
Right.
Because from a retirement end of story, got to leave something for the kids, so on and so forth. And so that's me.
Let's segue to another topic, which is property management. Now, I have a lot of people that also contact me directly and say, Dan, you're a realtor. Do you have somebody that can talk to somebody about property management? I always refer them to you, Rick. And some of the challenges that I hear, they're in a lease and they're not going to be able to get out of their lease, so they can't find a home right away. What do you tell somebody if they're trying to get into a house or just put themselves in a position if they're 2 months out on their lease?
So from a tenant standpoint, you have to act as quickly as possible still. And if you give us a call, we'll give you a list of properties. Again, as I've said for the past, 6 weeks, the number of rentals, it keeps expanding. So you've got a pretty good shot at it as long as your rental price is over $1,700 a month.
Here's my question is, if you guys think that it's better to buy than it is to rent, I'm not saying that it's not, but why is the rental sector going just at the same pace as the buying sector?
As far as pricing,
Yeah.
because
and
they're
demand.
because they're connected.
Because they can.
Yeah.
So-
And
so, I
mean-
because they're connected. As prices go up, fewer people can afford to buy, and so consequently they have to rent, and there's more pressure for renting.
So you're a real estate agent. Do you see more people looking and gravitating to rent or buy from your team or your perspective?
Well, from my perspective, it's always more people are moving to rent, but that's the
See, and that's my
but that's
point.
the area that I'm in. Brett is going to see more people wanting to buy because that's the area that he's in.
Yeah, I don't see renters. I kick them to the curb. I'm just kidding.
No, but you don't get the
Keep people on
question.
their toes.
But you don't get the question.
No,
'cause,
I
like,
don't.
at all.
No,
Like, hey,
nope.
should I wait? Because especially if you're coming from out of state, the biggest question is the transition.
I mean,
should I rent before I buy your house?
I don't get that question. I get people who are
Yeah.
desperate to find a place to live
Yeah.
to rent. It's not a question of whether or not they should wait.
Yeah, it's
It's,
just
it's
they're
just
not
can I
certain-
get a place?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, that's
they're
where I
not.
was
Yeah,
at.
it's
I just wanted a
exactly what Rick
place.
said. They're not
Yeah.
questioning anything other than I need to get a place.
A lot of people's life
Yeah.
decisions are not necessarily driven by, investment, and
Well.
they have other reasons they have to do something.
Well, I think it's necessity, but I'm just saying. So going back to your position as far as rentals, I mean, people are not like, what is the competition level as far as renting a home right now, dude? You got a lot of people coming in and say, hey, like, what are the things that people look at to try to get into a property? They probably go to some extent of, necessity or their urgency, right?
It's urgency over necessity.
Okay.
So they need to find a place. A lot of them are in a situation where their property is being sold. They only have another 2 to 3 weeks, and they got to find a place right now. And the problem with it is, if they look too early, the places are going to be gone. And if they wait too long, the places are going to be gone. And then they're going to be caught between having to get out, a rock and a hard place. So there's a very small window of about 2 to 3 weeks in which they need to make a decision right now and put money down on a place. And most of the property managers in town will hold a place for 2 weeks. Any longer than that, they don't need to.
So it's 2 weeks then. So you got a 2
2
week window basically to try to get into a house, or at least put money down or put a security
Yes.
deposit down, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what would you tell somebody if they're 3 months out or 6 months out? Like how I'm like
Call me
my
back.
lease-
Call me back when you got 2 weeks left.
There's nothing out there for them that says, you know what, like, hey, I'm going to give you a security deposit. We know that these people are going to leave on a lease. You can't do that, huh?
No. Can you do that? Sure. Are owners willing to do that?
So
No.
that's the question.
Because the owners are smart enough to know that they don't have to, because they've got 2 or 3 other renters standing there wanting the place, and this guy says that, can you wait 2 months when you got 2 other people saying I'll take it right now?
So you
not gonna
probably
happen.
talk to a lot of people that you turn away then. I mean, I think a lot of people are looking like, hey, you know what? I want to get into a house right away, but yet it's 2 months out or a month out. Do you just put them on a drip? I mean, this is the same for like buying a house?
We don't have
No.
a drip, because those people have already been through, quote, the system, so to speak. They've already talked to 1 or 2 other realtors. They already know what the game is, and they either know that they have to wait or they need to pull the trigger ASAP. It's pretty much.
And as
either
far as
or.
Rick, they either it's your properties or not.
Yeah.
So there's no drip. It's like, here's what we have. Call me when you're ready.
Yeah.
See,
Next.
I think that's why it's such a frenzy though right now too for the rental sectors, because there's not really a lot to choose from, and they're duking it out. They're fighting too to get into these
And
properties.
again, it depends.
You know?
Again, when we say this, we're talking about the price range. So I have a couple of condos that are renting for in the 1800s. So they've been sitting there for a couple of weeks. But once you get down anywhere,
Really? 1800, they've been sitting for 2 weeks?
condos. We're not talking
Condos.
houses.
Oh, condos. Wow.
I said condos.
Okay, I didn't hear the condos. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My
Off
fault.
D Street. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
So, it depends on the animal and on the property. Depends on the price point. And if you get anything below 1400, they're still getting snatched up pretty quick.
No, we had the forbearance issue, right? And we also had people that there was you didn't have to get, they were not getting evicted, right? Because the eviction moratorium. And so you dealt with a lot of these people that are out there,
Still are.
still are. Is that still a problem?
For the owners, it is, yes.
Is it really? So they I thought it was passed.
Well,
Well, you're involved in the government, so
yes. As I've said on previous shows, as long as the tenant is in the system to get some sort of aid, whether it be federal or state, you can't do anything with them. It's a very, very small percentage. At least in our offices, it's only like
So it's not a big deal then for
it's
you
true.
guys.
from my office standpoint. No, from the owners that have the properties, yes.
Okay, so the owners are the ones suffering
It's
tremendously.
always been the owners that are suffering. Say something. It
Yeah.
works one of 2 ways. Either the tenants will never tell you what's wrong because they don't want you to raise the rates. All right. So everything is perfect until they move out, and then you find out there's.
Well, I
No,
inspect
no.
the properties.
That's one thing, and then the other way is they take care of it all the time, and they make sure that you know about it. So those are basically the 2 scenarios that you get. I think another big factor right now is control. So, especially with the way rates have increased for tenants, rent has gone up. They're looking at buying a house as being able to control their future. And because once you've got that set payment, that's it. You got your payment set. There's no surprises.
Right.
So I think
Yeah.
that's another factor.
Well, let's go ahead and end the show. You guys have anything else to say about what's going on around Las Vegas? Anything exciting? Any news that you guys want to bring up?
Show was a doozy, bro.
It
Was
a
it a
good one.
doozy?
Yeah,
Doozy.
It was a doozy.
Doozy good time.
Doozy good time.
Doozy, bro.
Red line, baby.
Yeah.
Red line. What about you guys? Anything else, Rich?
No, nothing. Not particularly. Not
It was
today.
What about
Dude,
Christmas
he's-
parties? Are you guys going to a lot of them?
I'm not going to my companies.
No, why?
Brett's too cool.
I'm not. No, I just.
You've been there, done that,
Too
and
cool.
I'm
Hey, you should
not-
show the spirit of.
I'm kind of
gratitude.
antisocial outside of work.
Really?
Yeah, I just. Well, I don't know, man. I just keep to myself and
Yeah.
whatever.
Rick, you got anything else to say to the show?
Give us a call.
Call.
702-916-2200. Yes, we are doing a Christmas party, and yes, I will be there.
Nice.
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 Stocking stuffer.
What about you, Dan?
All right, guys, that's it. This is Dan French, the French Workbench Podcast. We'll be back here on a Saturday. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you then. If you guys have any questions, any comments, please, put some comments in the comment section. Like the button if you like the content, and also subscribe if you can. We'll see you then.